it's Emily from Super Sensitive Human, and I'm doing an updated tour of my garden. If you go back, you can see a video of a first frost tour of my garden in November, I think it was. Now it's June 1st, I believe, and everything is in bloom, so I'm gonna do a bloom tour. And a little bit about my garden is we're in central Arizona, the Verde Valley, kind of near Sedona. It's zone 8, and we can not grow tropicals here like oranges and stuff that they have down in Phoenix, but we can grow some subtropical plants like pineapple guavas and figs. So I'll get going. So I call it a permaculture garden, mostly because I have a lot of fruit and edible trees in it. I don't really have chickens or zones or anything like that, but here we have pomegranate. It's kind of getting overwhelmed by this hyracantha that my landlord gave me 2 of these when I moved in. And I don't really like them, but they have some nice red berries that come out in fall that you can also eat. This is sort of the xeriscape, no water zone here. I have been watering it because I put some wildflower seeds down, and I don't know if those are going to grow. I've tried wildflower seeds before, and the ones that go the best are the cosmos and the coreopsis, and a little bit of calendula, all the C's. This one, I think it's called Moonshine Yellow Yarrow. That one obviously does really great and doesn't need any water. We have some cactuses that I took from surrounding desert and just kind of replanted. Those always do well in agaves from the surrounding desert. This yucca, I bought that one. And these honeysuckles, I'd like to have some more so they cover the whole fence. Those do pretty good in this climate with a little bit of water. This one is an apricot. I think it's called a haricot apricot. And over here we have the elephant heart plum, I think it's called. It has a couple of plums on it. They're up here. So a little bit more about the garden is that this is my rental house. I just like gardening so much that I'm willing to spend money on trees and stuff, even though I could move any week or any month or any year. So I've only lived here for it'll be 3 years that I've lived here in September. So about 2 3/4 years so far. So all this stuff has only been in the ground 1 or 2 years mostly. And it's doing pretty well. I'm happy that we got a lot of fruit this year compared to other years. Before, every tree had like 0 to 1 fruits, and now some of the trees, we'll go see the peaches that have hundreds of fruits now. So there was nothing in the yard when I moved in here except for this plant behind my cameraman here. And I brought in all the stones and all the plants myself and all the mulch and constructed the whole thing. And so there's still a lot of bare areas like over here that are under construction or getting seeds put in them to cover them with squashes and stuff that will make a nice annual ground cover. The salvias are always a good bet in the desert. They don't need any water. Maybe I can talk a little bit about the irrigation systems. We'll see some beds that have drippers and some beds that have soaker hoses. This is a dripper bed and it only has drippers on the base of the fruit trees. Everything else doesn't get watered or gets hand watered. I think the soaker hoses work better than the drippers, but the drippers work okay. I'd like to, if I could afford the pots, experiment with oyas, which are like a clay pot that you put in the ground in water and it soaks into the surrounding area. But the oyas can be a little bit expensive to buy. This is just a basic red delicious apple from Walmart that was like on the clearance for $10. So this is fun because it has 3 little apples this year. Maybe I should take some off so they have room to grow, but I just like to leave them there because they're so cute. We have some seeds. Most of my seeds that I've planted are like native Hopi or Navajo melons. So here we have like a Hopi yellow meated watermelon, and on the other side there's a red meated watermelon. And here I have some Sinagua corn that is ancient corn from a pot that had a, like one little corn cob in it, and they grew the seeds out, and so this one's will be pretty cool if it grows out. We have the amazing lamb's quarters, magenta lamb's quarters that has this purple fairy dust covering the leaves. It's pretty ridiculous. You could put it on for eyeshadow if you wanted to. And these are really good, really tender tasting, really big and meaty leaves. They don't taste very good raw in my opinion, but cooked they're really good. We have some figs. The figs don't do too well here. They tend to die back in the frost and then resprout, so they don't keep coming off of this part. It's all the way down here, taking a long time to grow up. Maybe there's a fig that would not die, but whatever, we don't have that one yet. I think this one's a Genoa fig. Grapes. We'll see if we get any grapes this year. Lots of little grapelets developing. Some weeds. It's fun to see when you go out and walk in the desert and you see the weeds or plants that don't get any water and they're like this high. You compare that to this one that's within the range of the soaker hose and it's this high. This is a soaker hose bed all along here. I water the hoses and the drippers once a week for an hour. We got some black Cap Raspberries, which are my favorite. And this is called a Valentine's Day rose, which blooms all year round, basically, except for a few months in the winter. The invasive reed that I like for its tropical looks. I don't really feel that bad about spreading it because it's kind of already spread all around the area. So it's what I can afford for a nice fence cover to block out the neighbor's house. The snapdragons always do super well here and bloom all year round and have nice color, don't need too much water. This is a Sala Apple, and this one is special because my roommate drafted a piece on to hear from my friend Steven. That's his Bite Me variety of apple that I think he developed or something like that. Grew from a seed or something. So that's fun because the graft worked and it was pretty simple, cheap job wrapped in saran wrap and covered in bacon grease to keep it from drying out. I have some sweet potatoes planted at the base of my trees and the water well that are just sweet potatoes that I didn't eat in time and sprouted. So we'll see what happens with those. I don't know if they'll make any sweet potatoes for me to eat, but I like the leaves. Have an edible loquat hiding down in here. I would probably move this to a different place or just a pot for a while because of the being taken over by the reed. But it's growing. It's definitely growing. A loquat is kind of like an little orange fruit about this big. It kind of looks like an apricot, but it doesn't taste like an apricot. It's an evergreen plant, evergreen subtropical. Artichoke. I didn't eat the artichokes off the artichoke because I'm lazy, so we get to see them bloom. You get to see this beautiful purple sea urchin thing going on here. Still opening up. This is my Reliance Peach. And this one had 0 peaches for the first 2 years, and now in its 3rd year it's got about 100 peaches. I've taken off a lot, but there's still a lot left. Maybe I should take off more, but I just like to, I don't know very much about fruit pruning and fruit picking, so I just like to see what it does by itself, if it was going to shed any from lack of water or what was going to happen just left on its own. These, some of my plants you'll notice have yellow leaves, which is iron deficiency chlorosis, which happens because of wet alkaline soils preventing the uptake of iron. This one is a cherry that doesn't have any cherries this year for some reason, even though it had cherries last year. But it's growing with a lot of leaves. It's grown like twice as big in leaf size this year. Here's a little rose of Sharon that I've moved like 3 times. I'm big on moving my plants if I don't like where they are. I just dig them up and I'm not very careful with them and put them somewhere else, and they always survive. So don't be afraid to move your plants. Over here we have a tiny wild grape that I've transplanted. Let's see if that will grow up and cover the fence here between my house and the neighbor's house. Strawberries, they're too much in the shade now and they get eaten by bugs, so those ones aren't very good. Strawberry patch. This is a Angelo. That has to be taken inside in the winter time because it will frost, but it makes a nice plant in my bedroom, and you can bring it out and it's growing. There's some Tangelos growing. This is another Walmart cherry. This, $10 clearance item. This one has like 1 cherry on it this year. That one's also been moved like 3 times. The big peach that has 100 peaches was one of those Walmart clearance items too, and so is this peach over here that has, this is an Alberta peach. It has a little bit less than the other one. I don't know if that's because it's a kind of peach or just the location over here is shadier and it was a smaller tree to begin with. Alright, behind me we have the vegetable garden, which is under construction right now. It's got 3 kinds of asparagus that grow pretty well. Mary Washington, and Jersey Giant, and something else. And There's some more Navajo melons planted in here and squash. I'm growing some willows here that I hope to grow up and make an archway over either side of the entrance to the garden. This is jujube, Lee jujube. This is kind of where the water comes out. The gray water comes out from the washing machine. I didn't modify it to be that way. That's just the way it was when I moved in. So that's nice, I guess. And we use special Oasis detergent or something like that to make sure that it doesn't kill the plants and has nutrients that feeds plants. It's like for this purpose. Back here we've got these, what are those things called? Poplars or something. Those don't grow very well. I've got them to shade the south side of the house, but really the house just burns the trees, so not a good plant for that area. Going this way, we have the other fig that also freezes to the ground, but it's a little bit taller than the first one. I don't remember what this one is, maybe a black mission or something like that. And it hasn't had any edible figs on it. They grow and then they don't turn into big figs. They just stay like little dried up hard figs. So if you have advice on making your figs turn into big juicy figs and not aborting at a small size, let me know about that. Here is two butterfly bushes, a pink one and a purple one. This one, the big one, is actually the dwarf one, believe it or not. These things smell weird, like old lady perfume. So they don't smell too strong, so I can handle it, but they do smell weird. This is the second soaker bed. So there's like the soaker bed on that side that I showed you, and this is the second soaker hose bed. So both those beds have the biggest proliferation of plants. We've got our oregano, this is like some artemisia that I dug up from the desert that's pretty nice ground cover. I'd like to expand that around the whole area because that doesn't need any water. Dwarfs Mulberry, hasn't had any mulberries since I've had it, but it grows really super fast. I've got 3 pineapple guavas that have really cool tropical looking flowers. Those are evergreens. I haven't had any pineapple guavas yet, but this is only their second year, so we'll see what happens with that. Supposedly, if it's really hot, they don't often have them. This one is my hollyhock. You can see it's like way up there. That one is a volunteer. Hollyhocks grow here in the desert well from seeds, like bird droppings, I think. So this one that gets the water is about 11 feet high, and the ones that don't get the water can grow without any water, but they only grow to like 2 or 3 feet high. So I'm really pleased that this just decided to grow here, because could you ask for a better, more beautiful volunteer plant? Got some old onions. These are just edible onions that didn't get picked last year. Same things, snapdragons, pineapple guavas, onions, salvia, the flowering salvias, not the edible culinary kind. But we have some culinary kind back here. Mint, dill, basil, cilantro. Basil and cilantro don't do too well in this heat. It's been about it's been in the 90s lately, and that's only May, so it's gonna get possibly into the hundreds soon. Rosemary, more mint, more oregano. This is my roommate's little tomato that he bred. It's got little baby tomatoes. The world's smallest tomato, perhaps. This is our bird waterer, basically. You can dip in it if you're really too hot, but this is like, instead of having a bird feeder, I like to have the bird waterer, because it's fun, because you can still sit on the perch and watch the different kinds of birds that come, but you don't have to buy bird seed, which is expensive because they eat it too fast. And I didn't like I have a bird feeder, but I didn't like having it because they tweeted too much. It was too loud, so I don't like all that tweeting. I like the nice quiet bird waterer. And I didn't talk about my pear. You can see this one also has the iron deficiency chlorosis going on, but it has a lot of fruits. It has like a dozen fruits or so, which is great because last year I only had one. We had a really wet, mild winter, so I think that helped all the plants grow really tall this year. So that's mostly it. These are mimosa trees. These are some of my favorite trees. They're like the nitrogen fixer. For permaculture, you're supposed to have nitrogen fixers to naturally fertilize your soil. So this is my nitrogen fixing component here, and they have beautiful flowers and lend a tropical look to everything, and you can make a tea out of the flowers too. So I think that is most of the stuff in the garden.